Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Night, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. I'm with Colton today. Hello Colton.
Hey Boris, welcome back to the Kryptonite channel, everyone.
All right, Tezos.
Yes, it's my first question for you today, Boris, is what is Tezos, and can you kind of dive into their project for us?
Sure. So Tezos, they are a layer one blockchain, and their specialty is really to use decentralized applications for people to create decentralized application on the blockchain, and also to tokenize assets. They were created with their own token, which is used to do different votes on it, and we'll see also about the staking. And the cool thing is the whole future of Tezos, it's really decided by the users. So there are proposals being made and they can actually vote on those proposals. So they went live in 2018 and they offered, a new model where they do on-chain governance and off-chain governance. Like we said, the XTZ is the token. They did actually one of the largest ICO in history, which was 232 millions in 2018. And they have some great partnerships, Manchester United, Red Bull Racing, McLaren, Team Vitality, Ubisoft, Misfits Gaming, lots of great names that they have partnerships with.
Thank you for that information, Boris. Can we now kind of change gears and talk about the history and performance of the coin?
Sure. They were created, the idea started in 2014 and it was done by Arthur and Kathleen Braidman. And also they had a group of core developers. They're from Switzerland, they're operating out of Switzerland. And during their ICO, the contributions was done mainly in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And the one thing is, after they did their whole ICO, they ran into a lot of management and legal issues. It took a little time, to get everything settled. But now things have been pretty good over the past 2 years. And actually, they're really working on making everything better. So thanks God the fights are over. They're really working on the project. The blockchain has two parts. We have the network shell and then we have the network protocol. So what they use is it's a small variation of the proof of stake. It's called liquid proof of stake. And it's highly compatible with the Tezos on-chain governance mechanism. They also do some delegated proof of stake with a fixed number of blocks being produced. And the liquid side of things, there are no fixed numbers of block producers. So on one side, they have some people that are delegators, and they're producing fixed number of blocks. On the other, they're called bakers, and they produce basically depending on how many blocks are needed and how many people are involved and etc. That number has a variation. Also, if you want to be a baker, the requirement on the blockchain is 8,000 Tezos that you have to own. Now, like we said, people propose things and they can be voted on. Now, one of the great things is, first of all, whenever there are changes in governance, Tezos doesn't fork. Unlike some other blockchains that forked because of governance changes and then suddenly created a new coin, and we see the mess with those sometimes. That doesn't happen on Tezos. And the way it works is they use 5 periods. They call them, periods, where you have the proposal, the exploration, the vote, the cool down, the promotion, and then the vote and the adoption. Those, they usually take about 2.5 months roughly to go through. And if it fails, if the process failed for some reason, they have to start the process all over again. But one of the main thing is they want to be one of the best reward structures in the world of blockchains. So they've put some different mechanisms, and we'll see a little bit their inflation rate versus the staking. But the one thing that we can say between Tezos and the other blockchains is that, first of all, it's very decentralized, and second of all, it is self-governing. So it's really the users that makes decisions. The value, it's definitely the fact that companies can tokenize their assets, and we're going to see that's going to become more and more popular. People wanting to tokenize real estate, tokenize art, tokenize different assets out there, so it makes it much more available. What would you want to do this? Well, not everybody can buy Leonardo da Vinci's paintings. They are too expensive. No one has $150 million laying around. But you could definitely buy, if you tokenize it, you could buy, $1,000 worth of that painting. So we're going to see tokenizing of assets becoming more and more popular over the next few years. Then finally, there's no central database, no single point of failure. They have their own language that they developed, which is pretty powerful. They didn't want to use Solidity from Ethereum, so they used they developed their own languages. Their all-time high was back in October last year. They reached $9.12. And the low point was actually 35 cents all the way back to 2018. And today they sit around 98 cents, 97 cents per token. Now, what's important to know is they have a circulating supply of 910 million coins, but there is no max. And that's the one thing people have to be careful here. Unlike Bitcoin, 21 million, or some others that have caps, they don't have a total supply cap on Tezos. So they can make as many Tezos as they want. And that's always a little of a concern. You have to be concerned about those things. Now, the inflation, the system creates around currently 80 Tezos per block every minute, which puts the inflation rate around 5.5%. So that's their inflation rate on a yearly basis. The number of Tezos is growing by 5.5%.
Awesome. Can we now kind of talk about what's new with Tezos and what's, in the future roadmap, Boris?
Yes. One thing interesting in November, just basically a few weeks ago, they introduced a new DEX called 3Route. And this one is really cool because what it does, it looks at really a lot of different exchange rates all over the place and try to find you the best one, which is always good because that could potentially save you a lot on the cost itself. They say they want to do around 50% saving on the of the cost of swapping, coins. Let's say you're swapping some USDT for Tezos. It will it's doing what's called auto routing and basically find the best route. Should I buy it over here or buy it over there? It will go find the some of the best rates. The other thing that's important to note is Snoop Dogg's son is actually launching a $1 million fund on Tezos called the Champ Medici Art Fund for artists. And that's also trying to promote, he said to him and to his dad, they say, you know what, we feel like Tezos is one of the most advanced and friendly, artist-friendly blockchain. So it's cool when you see artists and famous people joining a blockchain, but for a special purpose. In their case, is to promote art. And they say that this is going to be good. So they're accepting application as of December 5th, so just a few days ago. And the official launch will be January 2nd, 2023. So in about a month from now, a little less than a month from now, this project is going to launch, and he's putting $1 million behind it to try to help this thing grow.
Yeah, and the only thing I want to add there, Boris, is for the people who don't understand, Snoop Dogg has said this multiple times. He's trying to get, rappers, singers, the people in the music industry to have their own rights to their music. They don't have to use a music label anymore. They don't have to use Sony. They don't have to use Paramount. They can cut out the middleman. And that's what Snoop Dogg is trying to get these new artists to realize is, hey, you don't need to do what I did 50 years ago and, sign half my life away to a record company. You can use Web3. You can use, a crypto coin. You can use a project to promote your music and not have to pay that middleman. So, that's just something I wanted to add there, Boris, so people kind of understand, hey, they're kind of cutting out the middleman here, Paramount, Sony, so people can, make their money and own the rights to their, music catalog at the end of the day. So that's all I wanted to add there, Boris.
Yeah, no, definitely. And sometimes some artists still to this day are waiting for the money from the record company because the record company have refused to pay them for whatever reason. Some of them, I think I heard that Shannon, the girl that was singing in the 80s, Let the Music Play and all those huge titles, she still hasn't been paid. And it's been like 30 or 40 years that she sang those songs. So...
Yep, and they own everything. She doesn't own that song, so she can't go promote it anywhere else. So that's what Snoop Dogg is trying to, stop. And he has his own record label now and all that stuff. But he doesn't want people to do what he did, 50 years ago and sign to Sony and basically give them his whole catalog, and he can't go sell it. He can't go monetize it. So that's really the big thing here. And I want people to understand is it's not just that they're trying to have a free platform to promote music on. It's really so that they can, pocket everything that they get from the song or from the album or from the mixtape. So that's really all I wanted to add on this slide.
Definitely.
Boris. Now, I know right now, Boris, we're not really supposed to have anything on an exchange, but can you give us any tips and tricks on how we can stake Tezos?
Well, Tezos is ideal to stake on cold and hot wallets. Now, you can be baking. They call it baking. It's staking. Roughly, it's the same thing. And if you have enough coins, 8,000, then you can do it and be your own baker. Or if you don't have enough, then you can delegate, which is very common. You get validators and delegators. The validators are the big ones, the one that do the actual they approve the transactions. And then if you don't have enough, you can be a delegator. So same thing here. You can delegate to other bakers, whatever. Now, really we saw that 5.5% was going to be the cost, the inflation cost on a yearly basis. And if you do let's say you're staking, you can stake with Ledger using your Ledger key, and you can do it directly with Tezos, or you can go through delegating. Roughly, the one thing that's important to know is, first of all, the time frame. As soon as you stake Tezos, it usually takes about 5 weeks for you to see any rewards. So don't be surprised if you stake Tezos. Let's say you're using Trust. I like Trust, Atomic, and Exodus wallets. They're pretty cool wallets. And they offer you 5.65%, 5.8%, and 5.6% respectively. So you see, we're just a little bit above the inflation. So this is not going to make you super rich, staking Tezos on hot or cold wallets. But first of all, it's going to beat the inflation, and at least you're not losing any money. But Trust, Atomic, Exodus, super easy. You just transfer, and virtually you have nothing to do. They get staked automatically just for being on the wallet. They automatically staked and you don't have to do anything. The only thing is, do not be surprised. It does take about 5 weeks before you see the first rewards. After that, you're going to see rewards it's roughly every 2.8 days to roughly, let's say roughly every 3 days, you're going to see rewards being paid, so it's probably the easiest one, and you do not have to unstake. That's a really cool thing about the Tezos network. No unstaking period, no unlocking period like some of the others. So if you need those Tezos, let's say Tezos goes through the roof and tomorrow you want to sell it, you can transfer from your wallet straight to an exchange or do a swap on the exchange, on the wallet as well. I mean, there are different ways to sell your Tezos, and it's immediate. There is no unlocking for 14 days or 21 days. Basically, the wait time is at the front as opposed to the back, like some of the others. So don't be surprised that for several weeks you don't make any money. Now, if you're on Baker, I went over this quickly, but you could possibly get 11%, reward, which is double the inflation rate. But downside is you need 8,000 Tezos, which means that you need roughly right now $8,000 worth of Tezos. So that's the few tricks and few things to know, but it's probably one of the easiest one. And also pretty much everybody offers Tezos staking. And even on Coinbase or on Binance, for those that really haven't learned the lesson from FTX and still leaving coins on an exchange, well, Tezos actually offer rewards on Binance and Coinbase and a few others. And it's roughly along those lines of about 5% as well.
My last question for you today, Boris, is, can you give us a price prediction and where you see Tezos in the future?
Yeah, so by next year, we might see a double in the price of Tezos. Now, of course, not going to happen in January. It could be, late 2023, where we see Tezos more along the lines of, let's say, $2, $2.20, something like that. By 2025, we'll probably reach double again, where we go $4 or $5, and then growing all the way to 2030, where average price on predictions right now are around $15, $16. Personally, I think 25 is more a good target, which is kind of the maximum price prediction on some of those. But to me, definitely has a lot of potentials. Let's not forget, it has a huge market cap. It's number 47 on, if you go to, let's say, CoinGecko, it is actually currently number 47, and it has a total market cap of $900 million. So it's a big project. They're well-funded. They're getting more and more support. So they're probably one of the ones that has a higher chance of going, places. And so to me, I'm thinking that it can easily reach $25 by 2030. Now, keep in mind that all the price predictions we're doing, they're also always kind of conservative. The one thing I think could change mainly is not so much the price target, but more the timeline could change. Meaning that we're thinking it could hit $25 by 2030. Maybe it will hit it by 2026 or 2027. So to me, that's the one thing as well, is that some of those price predictions we're doing, we're trying to be conservative. And I think that the price is right. It's just that it could happen sooner. So don't hate us, if you see the $25 happening by 2026 and say, oh, you were off by multiple years. Yes, because when you're doing a multiple year price prediction, it's sometimes very hard to judge the time frame and the timeline.
Definitely. From my side, Boris, that's all I have for today. But if you have anything else, please feel free. But thank you for all the information today.
Well, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Colton. We look forward to see you on the next Crypto Night video. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.